What's up, UFC fans? This is MMASucka's head-to-head fight breakdown for UFC 139. It's going down this Saturday, November 19th, and this is brought to you by MMASucka.com. I'm Nick, and like last week, I got my two co-hosts with me, Yale UFC from thesportshack.ca, and the MMA writer for streetmade.com, Julian Solomita. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys?
Excited to be here.
Cool. So UFC 139 this Saturday, November 19th, in San Jose, California, at the HP Pavilion. This card's got some heavy firepower to it. We've got Shogun and Henderson, obviously, Wanderlei Silva and Kung Lee, Brian Bowles and Urijah Faber, Martin Kampmann and Rick Story, and a handful of awesome prelims here. So I think the guys in California, Julian, are going to be excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this fight, especially because Street Made is sending me out to watch it. First of all, I want to talk about the Chamar Bailey against Danny Castillo fight. It's a really interesting fight for two reasons. One, Danny Castillo is a real veteran of the sport. He hasn't really, he's fought so many guys, and Bailey really just hasn't. He's real young. But Bailey in his last fight proved a lot. He proved how he could take a punch, and he proved how he just keeps coming. So I'm really looking forward to see how Bailey bounces back from his last loss. He said he was going to improve on a lot of things in his camp. And also, Castillo is real tough, especially with his camp. He's got a lot of guys at his weight class who are real good fighters, like Urijah Faber. Alpha Male has a lot of guys at that weight class that he's training with. So Bailey has his hands full, but I think Bailey will be able to take this fight. What do you guys think?
I think, yeah, you're right. He, Bailey took a good beating from Dunham last time. I think he learned his lesson. He has had time since then, and I don't think it's going to be easy to put him down. What about you, Yale?
I'm going to have to go with Castillo. He's more experienced, and Bailey's last fight, it was his fight of his life, and I don't think he'll repeat that.
Okay.
All right. Well, there's also one other fight on the prelims that I'd like to talk about. It is Miguel Torres versus Nick Pace. This fight is also really interesting because it's another veteran versus a newcomer. Miguel Torres has fought a lot of guys. He's had a long career. He's had 39 wins, and he's only 30 years old. It's not that young, but it's a lot of wins. And Nick Pace looked really impressive in his last fight, even though he lost at 133. He came out with a loss in the decision, but he looked really good. And also, he's got some great jiu-jitsu. He pretty much patented his own choke called the Pace choke in one of his wins in the UFC. And also, an interesting thing for this one will be Torres' camp. He trains at TriStar with GSP and Florian. And he's also got Firas Zahabi, which is one of the best trainers in the sport. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nick Pace coming out and fighting a veteran like this. I think Torres will take it, though. What about you?
I got to agree. I think Torres takes it as well. I think, we always say camp. What camp are they in? Is that a big difference? Well, in this case, I think it is. They got a strong camp there, and Torres is a tough competitor. He's crafty. He won't be put down easy. He's a tough guy. He's a fighter. He's a former belt holder, right? This guy's, we haven't seen the last of Torres. I think he wins this one. What do you think, Yale?
Yeah, I think Torres is upset he lost the Mighty Mouse, and he'll come out really strong in this match, and he'll win.
Okay. So, Julian, thanks for those two fights there. Yeah, let's go with you. I know you wanted to talk about a couple undercards, or one undercard at least.
Well, Michael McDonald versus Alex Otal.
Mm-hmm.
This match was on the undercard on Facebook, but it got moved up to Spike TV. The reason why it got moved up to Spike TV because this fight's going to be a crazy fight. It's going to be back and forth. Michael McDonald is a young, good fighter with a 13-1 record. His only loss is to Escobedo. He avenged that loss. He's fighting Alex Soto, who's unbeaten in his last 7 fights. He got a draw in Japan, but it was against a Japanese fighter. So, anyways, Alex Soto is going to bring it. He's the type of fighter that no matter where you bring him in the cage, he will fight your style of fight. And you could mount him. You could do, I've seen him in mount, people mounting him, ground and pounding him. He doesn't give up. He keeps on going. So he's gonna give Michael McDonald a run for his money, and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Another upset. Soto's gonna
win. Okay, and you guys out there, listen. Yale has a pretty good record the last 3 weeks. We've been picking fights here, so take note, people. Take note. Okay, you wanted to talk about Kampmann and Story, I think, as well, eh?
Yeah, Kampmann and Story. That's a great matchup too. Rick Story. I think he's going to win this match. He took when he fought Charlie Brennan, he lost, but he took that match on short notice. He was kind of on a high because he beat Diego Alves, and he wanted to fight Nate Marquardt. I had Nate Marquardt beating Rick Story in that match, but Nate Marquardt he withdrew. So then Rick Story fought Brenneman last minute. I don't know if it was last like 24 hours or something. He took the fight, and he didn't know what this guy was going to bring to him. So Brenneman had the perfect game plan, and he ended up upsetting Story, and Story lost that one. But against Catman, he's just going to bring it, and he's going to take him down. He's going to hit him. He's going to hit him hard, and he's going to hit him harder than Diego Sanchez hit him, and he's going to rock him, and he's going to knock him TKO.
I don't know, man. I think I agree. I think he's going to, Story's going to hit him hard, but I think Catman's just going to be on the outside, just picking him apart all day, like he did Paulo Thiago. He made a mess of Diego Sanchez. I don't know how he lost that fight, and I think he's going to do the same to Story here. I know Story's got juice. I know he can, he's a big boy. He's going to hit hard, and he's going to keep coming. But I think Martin's just too crafty to let Story get the best of him, and I think he'll pick him apart. What do you think, Julian?
I think Story, when you watch him in his fight with Thiago Alves, the way he came into that fight, the focus he had, and the aggression he had the entire fight, making Alves look, slow. If he comes in like that, I think he's definitely going to have it. He's going to start on the feet, and if he has to, he'll resort to his wrestling. He may not look like he has the best wrestling because he was out wrestled by Brenneman, but he's a strong dude. So I'm taking Story.
Okay. Anything? What about? What about Bonnar and Brills? What do we think about that fight? Any one of you? Go for it.
Bader and Brills. Well, I think both these guys.
Did I say Bader? Yeah, Bader and Brills. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Bader and Brills. I think both these guys need to win. I think Brills will bring it to Bader. It's not going to be as easy as everybody thinks. Mm-hmm. Bader should come out with the victory. Bader, if he could catch, he's going to try to catch him in a submission or something, but stand-up wise and everything, it's going to be even, and it's going to go to the judges' eyes.
Okay. Okay, well, let's move on to the fight I was going to talk about here, Urijah Faber and Brian Bowles. And I'm looking forward to this fight. These guys, I say this all the time, my favorite fights I like to talk about, these guys always bring it, and these guys always bring it. They're both powerful. They both have KO power. They're both solid wrestlers. They both got juice, gas for days. And, who have they lost to? Like, people that, you could see and you can forgive a loss to because they're tough competitors. I mean, they both lost to Dominic Cruz. They both had wins over Mizugaki, right? So, these guys are going to put on a show. Urijah being from North California, and Brian Bowles. They're two guys that are just going to throw down, and I'm expecting fireworks. I don't know about a submission, who knows, but they can both do that as well. So what do you think, Julian?
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a great fight. I don't think it's going to be fight of the night, but that's just because I think Kung Lee and Wanderlei will be. I'll get to that later maybe, but I do think Faber and Bowles is a great matchup. They're both ex-champions. They both have great stand-up, and they're both really tough. So I don't see it being finished, but it's going to be 3 rounds of some serious action.
Could we do 5 rounds here, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Nice. What do you think, Yale?
I'm going to go with Bowles here.
Okay. Hey man, I can't disrespect Yale's picks. He comes out of nowhere sometimes, and they come through. All right, let's move on. What does that bring us to the co-main event? We got Kung Lee and Wanderlei Silva, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julian.
I'm just really excited about this fight. Kung Lee is his first fight in the UFC. These guys are both ex-champions. I mean, this card is so stacked. Anyway, I think Kung Lee, he's got an interesting style of fighting. It kind of reminds me of Machida. He stays apart. He stays a little at distance, and he picks his opponents apart. This is kind of the opposite of what Wanderlei does. Wanderlei comes charging at you like a madman and tries to chop your head off. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I do think that Wanderlei is not going to be as crisp as Kung Lee. I think Kung Lee is going to rough him up a little more. Neither guy's going to drop, really. I think it's going to be more of just back and forth the whole fight. But I do think that Kung Lee will bloody up Wanderlei and take a decision. What about you?
I think Wanderlei's got to get close. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it with Kung Lee's kicks keeping him at bay. As for Kung Lee being a little bit more crisp, yeah, I could see that. We know he can be reckless sometimes, right? And who knows if he's going to be that, this Saturday. I would say so, but I don't know. I don't. I think Wanderlei's. I think it's all on the line here. I think he's just going to come and put it all out there. What do you think, Yale?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Nick. I think Wanderlei Silva is gonna come out swinging, and he's gonna go for the knockout right at the beginning. He looked bad against Leben, and Leben trained really hard for that fight because he knew that Wanderlei Silva is a good fighter. So Silva's gonna come out hard in this fight. So
look at all these all the fighters on the card there. Julian was saying a stacked card. We've just got a ton of strikers, and the main event is no exception. Dan Henderson taking on Mauricio Shogun Hua. Man, if I'm Shogun, I'm pretty much looking out for that big right hand. What do you think, Julian?
Yeah, anytime you step into the ring against Henderson, you're always looking for that right hand. I do know that Shogun has been training really hard lately. He's been over here in the OC training with guys like Jason Miller, Mark Munoz, and also Wanderlei Silva, working on wrestling, stuff like that. But Henderson is too tough. I think Henderson just comes at you, and also he doesn't go down. He never gets knocked out, and he's just so tough. His right hand is too strong, and his Greco-Roman background is a lot of times overwhelms his opponents to the point where they lose control over anything they want to do. All the game plan that his opponents have just go out the window because they're always dealing with his strong wrestling and the way he manipulates people. So I'm taking Henderson.
Who do you have, Yale?
well, Henderson has a chin, and he has wrestling, and he has a knockout power. So I always got to go with that, Henderson.
I'm going to go with Shogun. I think he's got. I think he's got the tools to do it. I think he's got the stand up. I think he can. I think he knows he's got to avoid that right hand. You know, if he gets put on the mat, could go have an edge there, Henderson, because, I don't know. I don't think Shogun likes being on the mat. Let's put it that way. So hopefully he keeps it standing up and keep Henderson at bay and get him in the clinch and do something. I don't think he's going to submit Henderson either. But I got Shogun for the win. So
one last thing, Nick. Another great fight that you missed on the main card, Kingsbury versus Stephan Bonnar.
Right.
That fight could be a fight of the night too. Both those guys are going to bring it. It's hard to choose from both of them. Kingsbury had a eye injury his last fight, so I'd like to see how his eye is, but I'd have to go with Kingsbury in this fight because he took a lot of shots to the ribs against Maldonado, and he's a tough dude. He's just as tough as Bonnar, so this could be fight of the night too. So I'd like to throw that one out too.
There's Yale's fight of the night. Julian, your fight of the night pick.
Kung Lee, Wanderlei, no question. These guys both come out to brawl, and they have two different styles they're going to make up for a just really exciting fight. Definitely that's fight of the night.
Okay, I'm going with Bowles in Faber. I think there's going to be fireworks, and that's my pick. I'm sticking to it.
Shows you how good this card is.
It's a great event.
Three different fight of the night choices here. That's good. Okay, that was UFC 139. The fight breakdown for it, brought to you by MMASucka.com, Yale UFC from thesportshack.ca, Julian Solomita from StreetMade.com. Thank you, gentlemen. UFC 139 this Saturday, November 19th in San Jose, California, at the HP Pavilion. Enjoy. And quickly, people out there, just want to let you know that it's also Bellator 58 this Saturday. Eddie Alvarez defending his belt to Michael Chandler, the lightweight tournament winner, and also BFL Battlefield Fight League in Vancouver, BFL 12. That's Friday, November 18th. That will be a great show as well. So look for the results there, or get to the show if you can. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Julian Solomita, Yale UFC, and I'm Nick. And this was MMASucka.com. MMASucka.com's head-to-head fight breakdown. Thank you, guys.